You're listening to PDR Podcasts Radio.
Heineken, fuck that shit. Pass through ribbon.
What's up? It's a podcast but radio PBR with me. I'm Geoff Tate and Brett Arnold. What's up, Brett?
What up, Geoff?
That was a dope song that just played. Who does that song, Brett?
Oh my God, thank you. 4 weeks in, finally remembered to credit Banshee Beat for that incredible song. Banshee Beat has been making themes for my New Flesh horror movies podcast for what feels like years now. He's incredible. I asked him to make us I basically told him what the podcast is. I said it's a podcast that thinks it's a radio show, as Geoff put it. And I wanted it to sound like that. And I think he nailed it. And Banshee Beat, he's amazing, electronic artist. Support him. And you see this lovely logo, Geoff.
Yeah, MC
Who
Hoo-Ha.
made that? MC Hoo-Ha.
Yeah, MC Hoo-Ha on Twitter. HOOHA. MC HOOHA. So check him out if you need some graphic design work done. Yeah, so that's our business. We got our business out of the way. Thanks for stopping by. We'll see you next week, I guess.
Yeah, that was it. That was a quick one.
We got a guest. It's those of you familiar with podcasts that I do regularly will recognize this fella. It is Trey Galyon. What's up, buddy?
What's up, you guys?
What up, Trey?
Now Trey's been in the woods for the last week. I haven't seen him in 10 days, which is kind of a long time.
Oh, is that what we're calling Austin now? The woods?
No,
there's a creek and a cave involved.
Yeah, there was.
True.
I was in the creek and the cave last
So
night.
might as well be the woods.
Yeah.
How does the new space compare to the old space?
I mean, it's completely different. You know?
Would you say nicer?
Hey, sorry for this. Sorry to put you on the spot, Trey. We don't want to do. We're not gotcha journalists over here.
Yeah,
buddy.
no.
It's
sorry.
not worse.
I just assumed it would have been.
Their new space. It used to be a rock venue. Like it was always a rock venue, and so it's a big, huge room up front where they have a bar on one side, and then they have a huge sound curtain that they pull across the bar, and then the big room up front holds 150, 200 people, and then they have a big space out back, a big backyard that also has a huge stage, and then there's a shared green room for both of the stages, and then the outside has a big bar along the back too. There used to be an island bar when it was a rock club, but Creek actually was smart and moved the bar to the back wall, so there's more, so they can fit at least 200 people back there too for a show.
Wow, so that's definitely much bigger of a space than they're used to.
Yeah. It's a cool spot, man, and they got some food and stuff too.
Hell yeah!
But it's not like the Creek and Cave in New York had a proper like little restaurant area, with tables and stuff, and this new one does not have that.
Gotcha.
There's some small tables
standing?
and stuff out back. Yeah. Well, it is stand up comedy, so
It's a
Wait,
stand-up
so the comics are supposed to
eatery.
perform? You got to eat while you do stand up?
yeah. Well, you don't have to.
I saw a guy do that in Evansville once. He made the show happen. Like they were gonna cancel it because there wasn't enough people there, and then he like begged for it to happen. And then when it was finally his turn, he was like, "Oh, I just always wanted to do stand up and eat nachos at the same time." And I was like, "Motherfucker, I didn't want to do this at all."
What?
Like why? Like Then you should have gone first. You should have just gone up and done stand up and ate nachos. You didn't have to force the show to happen. So the other two comics have to suffer through going up in front of 8 people in Evansville.
Yeah,
Aren't
you
you
should have
glad-
just taken a trash can up on stage and been like, "Oh, I just always wanted to take a dump in a trash can on stage."
Yeah.
I was gonna say, aren't you glad stand-up comedy's back?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm glad that the Evansville club isn't. That was a pre-Pando casualty. That's been closed for a while.
Hey man, you know, bad comedy makes me laugh just as much as good comedy, but yeah, there's
That's
still a
insane.
line with bad comedy also, you know.
That is insane. There's no way that's true.
Yeah, good bad comedy.
Bad
mean,
comedy
come on, are
make-
you kidding
bad comedy makes me laugh as much as okay comedy does. Good comedy makes me laugh the most.
Oh, I giggled, or I mean, I laughed a lot at those tapes that you know, the guys that worked at Rich Miller's office.
Yeah, but you gotta understand that even those tapes were edited, bro.
Well, yeah,
They're pulling
for
out
sure.
the best of the bad stuff, the worst of the worst. Like you don't have
Yeah,
to
yeah.
sit through 45 minutes of that guy doing stand up. The don't quit your day job guy, you got to watch his whole set. Fuck.
Oh yeah,
That ain't funny at all.
No.
The guy with remember there was like dueling Austin Powers closers for a while.
Yes.
Oh my god.
No, I think we've even talked about the one dude before on our podcast.
Is it Hurst?
Steve-
That guy's
yeah,
name,
Steven-
Steve Hurst. That's
Yes.
the only name I remember. But man, yeah, baby, no, thank you.
I mean, the fake teeth and everything. Oh, yeah, the
Yeah,
Union
yeah,
Jack
yeah.
underwear, the whole deal. He strips down to the
Yeah, he had props and stuff put in the
Yeah.
teeth.
Yeah. I saw him middle once. That's what we talk about. I saw him middle once, and then he started headlining immediately because, yeah, what are you gonna? Is I think that's what people that aren't in the comedy world don't understand. It's like even if it's a bad comic, if they have a closer like that, no headliner wants to follow it. Not because they're not because they're afraid to follow that. It's because they don't want to follow that.
It's stupid. It's like I mean,
Yes.
it's like when you have like if you have like pyrotechnics or whatever, you don't do it in the middle. You do it at the end. The
Right.
only person who doesn't do it at the end is Paul McCartney because he's Paul McCartney. He's the only person that can follow Live and Let Die with fireworks going off. He's the only one that still has songs. Nobody else is going to do that. It's
Yeah,
insane. And that was it back in 2003. Bookers didn't realize that just like having a closer like that, it meant, well, I guess we better headline that guy instead of never book him again.
Right. Because even at that point, it was like when he was doing that, like the Austin Powers thing was already starting to wear thin a little bit,
Oh yeah, it was all done.
but he would just kill. Those Midwest crowds just ate that stuff up. Nom, nom,
You said
nom, nom, nom.
2003? Like
Yeah.
Austin Powers was like late 90s, right?
Well, 1 was 97 and 2 was 99 and 3
That's
was
right.
I don't know.
3 was like a little before, I guess, when he was doing this, probably.
I mean, it could have been after. Who knows? But it was still like, I mean, it took probably 6 months before the Austin Powers thing wore thin.
No, exactly.
Oh man, I feel like we're still getting residual Austin Powers in
Oh,
comedy.
that doesn't mean it hasn't worn thin. It's been
Right.
it's been fucking annoying since
Oh yes,
1998.
worn thin. Yes.
Well,
yes.
and especially since
Yeah.
he didn't even try to come up with maybe a clever reference to it that nobody had thought of before. He was just sticking straight with the classics, with the
Oh, yeah.
baby and the
Doing
Are
the
You-
quotes,
Yeah.
dressing like them. Playing, I think the music played.
Mm-hmm. Yep, there was
That's 'cause
music.
the music's so good. That's like half of why it worked, probably. That music rules.
Well, the music and the dance number in that first
Yeah.
one at the beginning is
Yes.
killer. What a great
Yes.
way to start that movie. But
He's walking around,
a
all those
horrible way to
things.
end a hacky comedy set.
Yeah. Austin Powers had the confidence to follow it. That's it. He put it at the beginning. I mean, what a wild! It was like nobody's even tried to do a spy spoof since. What's the?
Right?
I mean, other than Spy was good.
Melissa McCarthy. That's right. Jason Statham is like surprisingly hilarious in that movie. Very
Yeah.
funny. I haven't seen that movie in a long time, but I remember.
Well, he doesn't try to be funny, but he knows what's funny about what he's doing.
Yes, he's like the straight. He's playing like himself, or like the
Yeah, yeah.
caricature of what his.
Well, there's like a
people are.
rant he goes on where he's like, "Is this like?" He just starts listing things that's happened to him, and it's all things that happen in other Statham movies.
That's a
Yeah.
great
Very
bit.
good, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was super fun.
How
Yeah.
was your camping trip, Trey?
It was awesome, actually. We got a little bit of rain. Like one of the nights was pretty gnar. Like it was almost like, dude, is this like tornado coming?
Oh wow, it was a big loud one.
Yeah, and I mean we've been through some nasty weather down there, and even gotten chased off the river before. By the sheriff being like, "Hey man, it's flooding. You guys got to pack up," which didn't happen
really?
this time. But the rain that we got that one night was worse than any, one night experience we've had out there. Just with the lightning, I mean, luckily we were on some drugs and stuff, so the light show was pretty cool.
Oh
but
boy!
besides that, like there were
That
moments
make
where it was
so
like
much scarier.
literally standing in the tent, like holding the frame of the tent up because the wind was blowing so hard that it was like, if we would have flown away in that tent at any moment, we wouldn't have been surprised. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn,
So
you're
And
out
that's
here
what you described
living.
at the beginning of this. You described it as we got a little rain.
yeah.
Yeah.
So luckily it was just that one night that was super, super gnarly, but it did last for way longer than they thought. It lasted for about 3 or 4 hours of us really kind of clenching our buttholes and being like, hurry, please pass over. Please pass over.
Wow. Did you
Yeah.
have service? Like, were you able to check anything?
Yeah, other people were.
You have a wind up weather radio?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you just wait till you hear that flood alarm, that coming
Boy,
from
that's too
upriver,
much.
and then
But if you hear that in the woods, that is fucking
terrifying. Yes.
yeah. You're too far away
Yeah.
from a basement. How are you gonna get to a basement when you're in the woods like that?
Ain't no basements in Texas.
No basements in the Texas.
No, you just got to find a low-lying ditch.
How are there no basements in Texas? There's tornadoes in Texas. There should be basements in Texas.
You would think, right? But the problem is the ground is super rocky, and so it costs too much to blow through all that stuff. You got to dynamite it, and nobody wants to do. It's basically because they're lazy. It's the same reason why all the pipes froze and stuff this winter. It's because they're lazy about building stuff.
Well, the pipes froze because they privatized their grid.
Well, and because they don't properly insulate, and they put water pipes on outside walls, and they put water heaters in attics, and they just do a bunch of dumb building code stuff that they could change easily anyway. But yeah, so not many basements in Texas, dude, unless it's like a split level that's built on the side of a hill, It's
Wow,
weird.
that's every house in Texas should be built on the side of a hill. Then,
Yeah, dude. So it'll easily fall off.
well, you gotta have. Well, it's which thing do you want to die from? Tornado or mudslide?
Yeah.
I'd rather go with mudslide. For some reason, I feel like that'd be easier to survive.
Well, it might be more fun for a minute.
I was gonna say tornado seems like fun, but I don't know. Twister maybe glorified the whole thing.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think
Well, those
so.
mid-90s natural disaster. I mean, Volcano made it look like it'd be fun for that to happen, but that's not going to happen.
Yeah,
it
that
isn't.
cow in Twister looked like it was having a ball, just flying around.
Excuse me. His name is Philip Seymour Hoffman. Wow.
Yeah,
I couldn't think of it. I couldn't. I wanted to say Jamie Gertz because she's the one that pointed it out, but I realized that would be too. That's
too
not what I
much.
meant.
No, you're just making a silly cow joke. I
So
get it.
then I had to backtrack. But also, Philip Seymour Hoffman's character was offered to Garth Brooks. That's one of my favorite movie facts.
That is crazy.
And he
Why
turned
did-
it down.
For what?
Both of those
Was he
things are
doing
crazy.
Chris Gaines shit at the time? What was going
probably.
on?
I don't think Garth Brooks has been in a single movie, has he?
Just that Billy Joel live at Shea Stadium.
Yeah,
Garth
Like-
Brooks. Nope, just soundtrack credits, and then Garth live from Central Park.
Wow. Yeah. He's a weird one, man. Like all his music is all on Amazon. He doesn't have it anywhere else. Stuff like that, man.
Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah, he's
Oh
weird
yeah, it's
like
not
that.
on iTunes.
Not on iTunes and on Spotify. None of that, dude.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Good for you, Garth.
Yeah, man. I guess he's.
I mean, why? Like he just got it. Amazon just paid him probably.
Yeah. And was like, hey, man, we'll give you this amount of money to keep it solely on Amazon. And he was like, that is the correct amount of money, you guys.
Yeah.
You nailed
it. Yeah.
I mean, if they're going to give $100 million to Joe Rogan to be exclusive to Spotify, Spotify should fucking cough up some money. Like if they started doing that for like, actual artists, that would be incredible.
Yeah, it would be wild if it was like, you can't get our new album on CD or vinyl or whatever they do now. You have to get it. You can only get it on Spotify.
Well, there was Chance did that.
That would be.
That's right.
His last album was only on Apple Music, but it was like exclusive for that release. Like there should be, like I can't believe that Spotify, and I also can't believe that they like I can't believe they haven't, and in both ways. Like it's hard to believe they have it. There probably is somebody who's only available on Spotify, and I just don't know.
Yeah, seems correct.
I mean, there was for the longest time there was like AC/DC. You couldn't get any AC/DC thing except physical.
Yeah, same. It was Tool and Prince, same way.
Well,
eventually
since
they
Prince
caved.
died, the floodgates have really opened on the estate, just dropping every goddamn thing he's ever done.
Well, because it was weird because he was one where like, he wasn't on Spotify and then Spotify put him on there, but then they took off not everything, but a bunch of stuff. Then they took off everything and then they put it all back on there again.
Yeah, they did a whole like marketing campaign around it. In New York, there was all those purple Spotify ads everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Prince, I feel like was famously didn't want, I feel like everyone says Prince wouldn't want his demos out there and shit like that. And his estate is immediately just the second he died, just rolling everything out. There's a new release, I feel like, every week now,
right,
on the Prince website.
Well, there was, I mean, the only evidence to support the idea that Prince wouldn't want these out is that they never came out.
Is that, yeah, they never were out. They were in his vault.
Wouldn't he have released these? I mean, that's at least the thing that I can hold on to for like, because they're doing that with Tom Petty stuff now.
Oh, that's right.
And at least there is a precedent where every now and then he would release some stuff from the vault like that. Like this thing with Wildflowers that's been coming out over the last year, 2 different things came out. He was going to do that. Like that's what they were working on when he passed away. He tried to get it done in 2014. So
it was still stuff that was chosen by him,
Yeah. Also, they recorded everything, and this was like a different, like the new Wildflowers thing is a different version of that album, where each song is a different version, different studio version, and the next thing that comes out is a different version of the She's the One soundtrack. That comes out in like 10 days.
This reminds me that DMX died recently, and the day that he died, I don't know what you call it, his brand, his estate, whatever you want to call it, put out an album on Spotify just to capitalize on the news. And it looked like there was a brand new album of DMX songs out, but it was just like they put all the greatest hits on on some new, they called it a new album and put it on Spotify, and it rose to the top of the charts for the day. And now a month or so later, an album did come out. A DMX album did just drop with it has Jay-Z on it. It's got, it's like a full new DMX album. So I don't know why. If anyone listening,
there must have been a plan for a new DMX album to come out soon.
Yes,
that must have been happening.
Yes, there's Jay-Z's on it, Nas is on it, Lil Wayne's on it, Alicia Keys, Bono, Snoop Dogg. It's got crazy.
Oh yeah, that's not just a bunch of tracks that got closeted.
No, exactly. Yeah.
And
Wild.
it's also not like It's also
Yeah.
not like that last Gangstar album with where they have like some guru tracks, but some is just lyrics that other
Right.
people did, and then they brought in guest rappers for each track. Like that took years. I mean, that came out like what 9 years after Guru died. Are we still recording?
Yeah.
I was listening.
We have a couple of things to do, Trey. Since we think we're a radio show, we've got a couple of things, couple of
Auga.
segments.
Yeah. What do you want to do first, Geoff?
You want me to do any
Well,
sound
let's
effects?
do that. I want to see that bear video. Have you seen this bear video, Trey?
Oh, of the lady chasing the bear away from the dogs?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah, it's
Here we
pretty
go.
dope.
We
I'll
can watch
play it.
this right now.
Give me a second. Where is that button? Share. Screen. Here we go. Sorry, guys. I'm doing it. Thank you. for the
I love
red
how they
circle.
circled the bear. Yeah, right?
That's the bear.
In case
you
you
don't know.
There's multiple bears.
It's a mama protecting her cub.
Oh my God! Lady.
Well, you can hear a guy yelling. Where's the guy?
Where is this guy? That is the craziest
guy-
shit I've ever seen.
The guy is where he should be,
Yeah.
inside. How do you let? I mean, how you got to just let those dogs go? You know, like I hate to.
Good
I don't
on
wanna
her,
be-
because she rushed in with zero hesitation or fear, which probably helped in the situation, you know, where the bear was like, "Oh, not to be trifled with." Okay.
Dude,
And then
he's
she
just
grabs the
straight-
dogs.
He's
you know?
straight swatting at the dogs, and she just pushes them. I can't get over it. It's pretty badass, honestly.
But there's probably, I mean, the cubs ran away,
Yeah.
so she could just. Like, what are the odds if she
I'm
does
playing it over and
nothing
over
that it
again.
keeps happening?
Well, because you said,
oh, if she
like,
does
if the Cubs
nothing,
had stuck around, I think that would have ended way differently. You
The
know what
bear
I'm
comes
saying?
down and actually fights those dogs, but
yeah, you're
and
right.
kills
The other
that
ones go
lady.
away.
Right. And
Right.
see how the
I mean,
bear
at this
turns for a
point,
second, is like,
yeah.
okay, my babies are gone.
Yeah, now it's gone. Oh, it
Yeah.
comes back though. Oh,
It gets
When
up
it
on the
comes
wall.
back,
but
climbs back
it-
up on the wall, but it's leaving. I mean, ever since the dog showed up, that bear is leaving.
Yes. And again, I think if the bear cubs had stuck around, that lady'd be dead right now.
Yeah, you don't
Yeah.
want to mess with that, but still,
this
it's
is
the,
super fucking scary. Oh my God, I can't
where,
imagine
where do you
this
think
happening.
this is?
California
tell ya.
somewhere.
California.
I'm Googling. You can watch me Google.
Oh yeah, we're watching it.
That's like Northern California.
Bradbury, California.
Why do you let every dog into the backyard when there's a bear on the wall? I assume that they don't know there's a bear on the wall, but
Yeah,
Or maybe
I
they
mean,
knew there was
a
a
lot
bear
of
on the
dogs.
wall. Yeah, I don't know.
are we starting a conspiracy that the bear? It's an inside job. They want the dogs dead.
No, yeah, I think that bear
No,
was hired by Trump, probably.
I think it's just like it's like a couple of bozo moves in a row
Yeah.
that somehow ended fine.
I
Like,
guess my
everything is
question-
fine, but like
Do either of you have dogs? You don't? No.
No, have
No,
had in
no.
the past, not currently.
Would you say your dog was in this situation? This is your yard and you saw this. What are you doing? Are you pushing it?
No, because I had my two dogs. I had a Rottweiler and I had a blue tick hound, and both of them
Oh,
I would
so
let
they can handle
that
their- yeah.
situation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I grew up with my parents only adopted or bought, whatever you call it, Chihuahuas and like
Oof.
little dogs. So I feel like those dogs would have been doomed. And I personally would not have put my life in danger for those ones. But if any bear came after my dog that's in my house right now, I would throw some hands.
Throw some
I like-
hands or
but
throw
that's
some
different.
objects.
That's
I like to
different.
think.
If a bear comes into your house, you're also in trouble.
Good
Fight that bear,
point.
not just for your dog, but for yourself as well.
Right.
I can't stop
But
watching
this,
this
but
horrifying
this,
shit.
But I'm with you, Brett. Like a little dog, like what? A little dog like that, I'd be sitting in watching through the door, being like, "Well, I hope that one of them doesn't get eaten."
Yeah.
And maybe trying to find a big enough rock
right.
to throw.
If they're not smart enough to not get killed by this bear, I'm not going to compound the situation by also not being smart enough to not get killed by that bear. Because like if that bear kills those dogs or that lady, how like what's the narrative then? The bears are out of control, and we need more guns in Northern California or whatever. Like the narrative is just like now, like even now the lady was like, I shouldn't have done that. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
fuck yeah, you shouldn't have done that.
The narrative is don't mess with a bear, dude.
She's got to do like
Keep your
PSAs
goddamn
now.
dogs inside.
She keeps doing interviews with all these news outlets, and every time she's like, "You don't do what I did. You can't."
Right, and I got it confused. The first time I heard about it was a 17-year-old pushes bear or whatever, and I thought it was one of those. I thought it was gonna be like one of those Yellowstone bozos who doesn't know to not take pictures of them.
Oh, right.
Right,
Oh,
like because there
God.
was like a story a week before.
Yeah.
Of some lady who was like just kept walking right at it, trying to. You can't ever figure it out. Like that, they shouldn't have done that. They shouldn't have let their dogs out there. You got to check. When you live in bear country, you got to check and make sure there's no bear.
Well, that's the other thing is like, it looked like a fairly residential neighborhood, you
Yeah.
know? So if that bear is wandering through there with its cubs, something's got to be up with that bear. Like that bear really needs food or something. Like that's not normal, So that's
Right.
even more reason to stay away from that thing.
Yeah, it's hungry or confused,
Yeah.
or there are just too many goddamn bears, or everywhere the bear used to live has burned to the ground in the last 5 years.
Which is
Every other place that it was ever able to go.
Oh yeah, we haven't talked about the effect of all these forest fires on the bear population. They're going to start, gentrifying neighborhoods now.
They have to. They got to go somewhere. When you
Yeah,
burn
they
down the
don't start
woods, where
moving
the
to
bears going to go?
Bed-Stuy, dude.
Yeah, there goes the neighborhood.
Man, could you imagine a bunch of bears on the A train? Forget it. The A train's already a big enough pain in the butt to ride. I am not sharing it with bears trying to get to JFK.
Well, it is Pride Month. So, so yeah, you don't have
that
to
would be
imagine.
going that direction towards the beach.
I don't even know where the trains go. I just know it's Pride Month.
Do you want to talk about this Javi Baez clip?
Yeah, let's follow one cub with another. This
That's
is the
genius
greatest baseball
transition.
play I've ever seen, Trey.
I haven't seen this one.
Okay.
I
Check
hope
this
so.
shit out.
Can you full screen it?
Baez hits it on the ground to third. Gonzalez. This is so good. Oh my goodness! Wow, you gotta be kidding me.
No way.
You've gotta be he stole a run. You have gotta be
Right.
kidding me.
So Javi hits a
Baez.
ground ball to third,
Keep going. Go.
and then the throw goes to
You're
first,
invincible.
and so he backs up. He stops before he gets to first, and he goes back to home plate, which isn't anything. That
I
isn't
know.
a baseball play.
That's
No.
the best part.
There's 2 outs. So
Exactly.
all the guy has to do is touch first base.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, there's 2 outs. Is the thing most people didn't notice when this clip went viral. So it makes the whole thing like even more ridiculous. Yeah, watch this whole
Right.
thing again.
Yeah,
So-
you're right. All he had to do was touch first
Hold on.
base.
Where's
Right.
that? They're about to show the replay here.
So right there to third base, and he throws it over to first, and the throw pulls him from the bag. So Javi runs back. He's caught in a rundown between home and first.
He's caught in a rundown that doesn't exist
It
because
doesn't
all he has
exist.
to do is step on first.
The first baseman's a total
nobody-
moron. And then,
But-
and then
but
even worse, he
everybody-
throws it to the catcher.
But everybody's a total moron in this
Yes.
because as soon as he starts running down the line, The second baseman should have been on first.
Yes.
The fact that first base wasn't being covered, the second baseman should have been at first the whole time, screaming, "Throw it to me! Throw it to me! What are you doing? Throw it to me!
Yeah.
Are you fucking crazy? You're chasing him back to home? That isn't a thing. This is never like this is one of those things that has never happened before in the history of baseball.
Boricua.
There's no way for this to have happened. It's the most hilarious. The fact that he got to second and a runner from second scored.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
It's insane. And when you said a Javi Baez clip, I obviously assumed that it was some incredible fielding play that he made.
Yeah, or a
And
steal
not
or
that.
a home run. He's crushing it lately. The Cubs are actually briefly they're now in first place in their division. And so are the White Sox. I know it's early in the season and there's many more months to go, but the Cubs are on a hot streak.
Trey told me this stat where they won 19 games in May, and they've only won 19 games in May 8 times in like the history of the Cubs.
Oh my God. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Dude, I love Javi Baez. He is not just because he's Puerto Rican.
But that's, I mean,
That is half of
he
it.
pulled 4 bases and a run out of a ground out.
Yeah, and when he's trying, you could tell when he's running to first base, he's like, "Well, I'm out." Like he's not running with conviction, and then his brain clicks as soon as he sees the first baseman running towards him. But he's probably even still not thinking about the guy running home from third at that point. He's just like, "Well, I'm going to back up."
He totally is, because if you watch the clip, he calls him safe. He makes the safe. Did you see him do that?
Yeah.
After the ump called him, he also calls him safe. So he's just stalling, trying to see if that can, because once the runner scores, if it's still a forced play, and they force him at first, does that run count?
If it crosses, if they score before,
No, dude.
It's a force out at first. So
I was gonna say all they had to do the whole time, even after the run scored,
is just
was
touch
step
first
on the
base.
bag, and it's
yeah,
over.
I
and the
think
run
that
doesn't
if they had
count.
just
Yeah.
stepped on first. Now, if they get him out when he tries to get to second on that bad throw, the run still counts.
Agreed.
Or
Yes,
if they
that's
tag
true.
him,
Yes.
the run still counts. But if they force him at first, it
Yes.
doesn't count.
But once he got past that, once he got past first, the run counted. Correct.
And then he gets to second base.
Yeah, because the second baseman wasn't covering first and then dropped the throw.
He totally touched boob, dude, when he shouldn't have even been in the ballpark.
Right, it's the best. Oh my God,
so
it's
good.
the best video. It's the second best video I've seen all week. The first best video is hopefully queued up.
Which one is that?
I'm buying a
The
Javi Baez
IG video I
jersey.
sent you.
As soon as we get done with this, I'm getting online and ordering a Baez jersey.
Yeah, you got to get a pullover royal blue throwback if they make them.
Word.
I got it pulled up for you.
All right,
This
now
guy?
this is my favorite video.
Yeah, Geoff loves this video. Here we
I've
go.
turned it into a ringtone. It's now the alarm. The audio track is what wakes me up.
Okay, here we
I
go.
haven't seen this one either.
Your man might have the Star Wars Lego set Death Star, but can he chug a sparkling water and not burp?
What the fuck?
Oh my gosh. What do I do?
Dude. Oh my God. Everything about this is so funny.
It's so weird because it's almost like, because for a second I was like, wait a minute, is this staged? But there's no way that could be staged.
No, that's what I thought too. I said that to Geoff, and he told me I am joyless.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely staged in that he knows he's being filmed.
Well, yes, he's filming it himself, so there's always that. But what? Here, let's break it down. I think I can actually make it full. Did it just go full?
Because
Cool.
it seems
No,
like
it
he's
just,
gonna.
it's still in the Instagram doesn't go full.
Oh, I see. Right.
Because when he does the wait a second thing, it seems like that stage and he's planning on doing something else, and then he turns around and smacks the
I
door,
just
which
don't-
does not.
The reason I think it's
Clearly
fake is because I drink so much fucking seltzer every day, and I feel like I could chug it no problem. Geoff
Then
says
do
I
it.
shouldn't do it right now because I'll spit it all over my keyboard. But I'll go
Yeah,
get
I
one.
think you'll barf your thing, but I also don't think that you can just chug a can of sparkling water. Also, the fact that you're a different person than this is a huge clue that you're different people and that it would have a different effect. The fact that this is a child has an effect on it. The fact, like, I think he knows that.
I think, do you
think
like
he
the
knows
Star
that it's
Wars joke?
dumb. I think he knows that it's not a real comparison. That he's like the first part. Your man owns a Star Wars Lego Death Star set, but can he chug a whole sparkling water without burping? I think he knows that. Like, I think he thinks that's dumb. I don't think he thinks that's a real, like I don't think he thinks those are equivalent.
Yes.
Right.
But
Yeah, I think
but
it's a
also I
bit.
don't. The fact that he very clearly thinks he's gonna die before finishing the can of seltzer water makes me think he doesn't know that's going to happen.
Well, in the way he held his chest, it's like we all know that feeling. It's like you
Yeah.
get a bubble.
Oh, the
way
bubble
too
gut.
big,
Yeah.
right there in the middle of your chest. And
Here,
it
let's watch it
hurts,
again.
dude. It'll double you over
hurts.
for sure.
It hurts so much.
Yeah.
Your man might have the Star Wars Lego set Death Star, but can he chug a sparkling water and not burp?
I love the little head nod, like the
So
boy.
satisfied.
Oh my gosh. What do I do?
I feel like the more I watch it, the more I enjoy it.
It just gets so funny. I don't think he thought that like doing that he was going to be cool, but I also don't think he thought he was going to die. Like I think it was staged in that he was making a joke, but then it went wrong.
Yes.
Like
I agree with that.
people that try to eat cinnamon or whatever, and that doesn't work. Like it's just like that. I like to think that when he started a burp right at the end, that it's like when you let a balloon go and it just shoots everywhere. That's what happened to his head, and that's why he hit the garage door. It blew his body into the.
Bank.
Man, oh my gosh, what do I do? It's so funny.
Yeah, and the tone on the burp is really solid.
That's monstrous.
Yeah, it's the tone of the burp and then the bang against the garage door right
Face.
after the other.
Face on the garage door. Oh my god. I can send you the audio. Like I'll send you the audio clip. You can set it on your phone. I made it a ringtone, but I don't know how to load it onto my phone to be a ringtone, but I know how to make it into. So I wake up with him saying the thing about the Death Star Lego kit. And then there's a little bit of space where I could like start to wake up before there's more loud noise. And then there's all of that at the end where I just start laughing.
Oh my god, what do I do? Bam.
Right? I'm awake and laughing. I've got like the blood's flowing. I'm alert.
I'm trying to find these other TikTok videos that I want to show. You ever seen this kid? He's like probably a college kid. He does these little TikTok reviews where he drinks an entire 12-pack of something and then does a review of it.
Like
and
drunk?
it gets
Or-
so fucking blasted. Yeah. There's one where he drinks where he drinks Four Loko that really got me.
He drank 12 Four Locos?
Yeah, dude, he basically it's
No.
crazy. I'm trying to
No.
find it. Hold
Nobody
on.
You
should
think
do that.
you think this thing's fake? That guy's in the hospital.
Oh, it's not fake. Like you can watch this guy age like 5 years and 6 months by doing these
Oh, man.
videos.
So it's
It's
like watching,
hilarious.
It's like when you
Yeah.
the first few seasons of Man versus Food, and you're like, oh,
Yes.
they got to get a different guy for this. This guy
Yeah,
can't
they
be
did.
the
And they
host
did
still.
get a different guy for that.
Yeah.
Here we go. I found it. Hold on.
He's not
Here's
gonna be medically
this is the
cleared.
first one
Right.
I ever saw, and I think it's his first one.
All right, guys, welcome back to Rusty Ranks Beers, where I pick a brand, drink 12 of them, and then give it a score. Today we got Pabst Blue Ribbon. All right, guys, we're 4 in. It's really good pooping beer, but we'll keep you posted after the 8th one. All right, guys, we're right in. We're loving what we're seeing. We had a little drink. Yeah, Brett? Chris is wondering why he hasn't gotten paid yet. We'll cross that bridge later, but we'll keep you up to date after 12. All right, guys, we're 12 in. We're loving what we're seeing. It's America's beer. Not much else to say about it. A little bit high in alcohol content, which the boys are loving, but other than that, it's about it. It's America's beer. It's gonna be a 8.4 from me.
So there's another guy there too?
Well, that's just in the first one. I think sometimes there's another guy, but here's how this guy looks now. I'm trying to find the Four Loko one because I know he gets absolutely shit.
All right, guys, welcome back to Rusty Ranks Beers, where I pick a brand, drink 12 of them, and then give it a score. Today we got Tweets.
Oh, this is
all right, guys,
Twisted
we're
Tea.
4 in. These are the drinks you asked for when you're a sophomore in high school and you don't know the name of any other alcohol. But other than that, not much else to report. I'll keep you posted after the 8th one. All right, guys, we're 8 in. Let it be known that after 8 tweets, your MLB The Show skills will go down drastically. But other than that, honestly feeling pretty good. A little sugary. We'll keep posted after the 12th one. All right, guys, we're 12 in. This is kind of a cowpoke beer. You know, like you're lonesome but happy. You're rich but you're broke. And Lord knows, you know, I'm just a cowpoke. This is Twisted Tea. It's going to be a 6.2 for me.
6.2 after an 8.4 for Pabst Blue Ribbon.
So what's the most recent one?
The most recent one is this one. I still can't find the Four Loko.
All right, guys, welcome back to Rusty Ranks Beers, where I pick a brand, drink 12 of them, and then give it a score. Today we got Mickey Seltzers. All right, guys, we're 4 in. A little underwhelming so far. Some good flavors in there, but not much else to report. Keep you posted after the 8th one. All right, guys, we're 8 in. Love what we're seeing. It's a bit of a Frodo Baggins beer, if you will. We're going to hit this pregame down at Mordor, and then we're going to finish the rest of the 4 of them. We'll see you then. All right? Take it easy. All right, guys, we're 12 in. We've Expelliarmus some beers down our throat. We're watching the Half-Blood Prince. Half of our blood is Mickey Seltzers right now. Dobby's pulling up later. It's going to be a good time. You guys should pull up. But other than that, pretty decent beer. All right, guys, Mickey Seltzers. This is going to be a 6-7 for me. Super specific score. All right, guys, welcome back to Rusty Ranks Beer.
Just so we're clear, if you weren't watching and just listening, those were Michelob Ultra Seltzers.
Yeah, they weren't Mickey's Big Mouth.
Yeah, they were not Mickey's. I wanted to make that clear.
Dude, that is awesome. I didn't get the Frodo thing. I did get the Mordor thing, but they're going to Mordor. And then he just randomly invites everybody to stop by.
He starts bringing up Harry Potter.
Yeah, man.
He
Bro's
combine
coming over. You
franchises.
guys swing by too.
Oh, wait, I found the Four Loko one.
Oh, great.
This is the best one. This is the best one.
I just want to see the difference.
Here's where
Oh,
I pick a
man.
brand.
Okay, hold on. I got to make this full screen. This is beautiful.
Yeah, it's amazing that anybody could get through 12 Four Locos. There's no way without puking at least.
This is fucked up.
So this is in the middle before
All right,
he
guys,
starts.
welcome back to
Before he
Rusty
starts
Ranks Beers, where I pick a brand.
exercising more.
Yeah, he does look a little bloated in
score.
this one.
Today we got the lethal Four Loko. All right, guys, we're 4 in. I'm as drunk as I normally would be after the end of the review. They taste horrible, but they make you feel amazing. I will keep you posted after the 8th one. All right, guys, we're 8 in. This is drunk as I've ever been. After 8 of them, these are 14%. Put me on my damn keister. Pigeons aren't real. Keep us after the very good.
Darkness.
12 in.
Yeah, dude. He's like, lights
Don't drink 12 of these. It's not fun. No one's gonna find in trouble, and then after that, don't do it. All right, guys, welcome.
So he doesn't even rate him. He just, his ultimate rating is never do this.
The viral tweet above it just says, Four Loko put Rusty in the Phantom Zone. Someone did it. Here's the side by side. Look at the side by side. Rusty's aged like 10 years since he started making these videos. They're killing him, but there's no living if you're not doing it right.
Oh my god.
Oh, I'm still
Nope.
not getting on TikTok, but that is great.
I mean,
That's the best thing I've ever
so
seen on
drunk
TikTok.
after 4.
Yeah, he's immediately drunk after 4, can barely talk at 8, and at 12 he's just can't have the lights on and is very somber.
Yeah, after 4, he looks like the guy that you see at the bar where you're like, oh, they're about to kick that guy out of this bar. Like he can't be in this bar anymore. There's no way.
The guy at the show was in the parking lot drinking
Yes.
and can't believe he gets to see his favorite comedian. It's
And he lasts 2 minutes during his favorite
right.
comedian.
He
set
doesn't
before he
even
gets
make it
kicked
through
out.
my set.
Yeah.
You guys ever been kicked out of a concert? I'm not gonna even say comedy show. I'll offer my story is I've been
No.
kicked out of a couple venues, but the most I got kicked out of a Black Keys show that was like a
Were you wearing a
Lollapalooza.
white striped shirt.
Yeah, you gotta go. You can't have
Was
that
it?
here.
Right.
No ebony and ivory here.
I was like, I think I was in high school, but I don't know what the deal was. It was a Lollapalooza after show. And I probably got in with a fake ID saying I was over 21, but that's not even why I got kicked out. I was smoking a one hitter during the first song that they were coming out to, and immediately got a security flashlight in my eyes and kicked out of the show. One
show
song
was it?
at the Black Keys at the Metro.
Oh, Black Keys.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Brutal. Yeah. And they were like nice in that, like, I was worried, this is when weed was illegal. I'm like, are you going to call the cops? What's happening? They basically just, kicked me out. And I don't even think they took my hitter. They just said leave, which was, I guess, nice. But I've been kicked
Boy,
out of
they're
there. Yeah. Go ahead.
Cops, like constant security are bitches, man.
Yeah.
I saw him hassle like a 20-year-old at a Weezer show, and they took his weed and scared the fuck out of him. These were like state troopers.
I
Scared the
hate
fuck
that.
out of this kid, and I was 20 feet away smoking a joint, and
Right.
they didn't come up to me. And then later, I was smoking another joint, and then I look over and they're standing right next to me, and they say something like, do you smell weed? Like, they say it to me. And I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. There's a lot of people out here. And I just go to hit it again, and they fucking don't take anything from me. They don't. But this was like 3 years ago or whatever, so I wasn't 20.
Yeah.
Right.
It was they'll fuck with a fucking kid.
Yeah. I remember I was going to an Arctic Monkey show in high school and got caught like trying to bring in a one hitter, and I was like, mortified. And I got the cool employee who like basically didn't care and just said, go, it's fine. But I've also had the opposite happen where they just take it and throw it right in a garbage can or something.
This was before you learned about your socks.
Yeah, this is before I learned about my socks.
Yeah.
Well, I think
once
it
you
was-
learn about socks, you're all set.
Yeah.
Sometimes, actually, one of them was they got it from my sock. Some security people, they know what's happening.
And they were at a concert, and
At
they
a
went to
concert.
that
They
much
tapped
trouble
down your
to pat you
socks?
down
Yes,
there.
I've had that happen
Stop,
before.
dude.
I've been
Really?
to thousands, probably 1,000 or more concerts, so the odds of that happening, are higher for me, I guess. But it has happened a few times. But now in the
technically,
days,
the odds are the same. You've just been to a lot more concerts, so it's come up more.
yes, that's what I
Yeah.
meant. Thank you.
Right?
Yeah,
Nobody's
I
ever
think I've
touched
had-
my ankles.
Yeah. And I've had more situations like Geoff, where it's like, if you, a security guard is going to mess with a younger kid. Because if you walk up to a security guard or stand next to him in a certain way where they understand that you clearly know that they are no kind of authority figure, really,
Right,
essentially.
Right. They know their audience.
You.
And you're also clearly demonstrating that you are not a problem version of whatever it is they're trying to run down. Like, I'm
Right.
standing there by myself on the lawn, smoking a joint, watching this band. Like, you could do whatever you're gonna do, but it's not gonna change anything. You're not
Right.
making the situation safer for anybody. by
I-
taking my joints.
I saw Weezer one time on the Red Album tour. So that was like 2008. And memorably great show with a memorably very bad opener. It was the guy from Blink 182's other band called
wow.
Angels and Airwaves. I
Oh.
think the guy Tom
Boy.
DeLonge, who's like the UFO alien guy now.
Oh yeah, he is.
Yeah, he
very
was the lead
much.
singer of this band, and it was one of the worst sets of music I've ever had to endure. But Weezer was good. Fun show.
If I was in Weezer, I would sprinkle in a couple of songs. Like imagine if you're at a Weezer show and they just start playing Santa Monica, and how many people would leave that show being like, I didn't know that. I forgot this was Weezer. Like if they did like Santa Monica's that Everclear song,
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
they play like a Cake song, and then people are just like, wait a second, I thought this was. I forgot this. This is a Weezer too. Oh, all right, and then they just go on like. You could just do that, and like it would be. I think you should do that. I think every band should do that. They should play whoever they get confused with a little bit. They should play one of their songs, just to fuck with the part timers in the crowd.
Yeah, man. I agree with that totally.
Yeah.
And, well, especially since Weezer's been playing a bunch of covers recently, you know? So it's like, yeah, man, just throw in whatever.
Right, like what? It wasn't it like, isn't Toto doing like Buddy Holly now?
Well, I think that
Sweater
started.
song?
It started with them doing Africa, right? Weezer doing Africa.
Yes, that's
Right.
Well, dude,
yeah.
I've had like I have a Rocky Top shirt, you know, that I'll wear, and I've had more than one person come up to me and be like, "Oh, dude, are you a Fish fan?"
Yeah, I was just gonna ask you the same question.
And I was like, "What are you talking about, dude?" Like, I didn't even know Fish covered that song, but it was
Yes.
like, "Oh, hot damn! If you're into Fish, you maybe ought to know music history a little more than like. How could you think that Rocky Top is a Fish song? That song has been around forever."
Yeah,
So it's
like the
Fish.
Black Keys just put out. Yeah, true. The Black Keys just put out a whole album of like jazz, or, like blues standards, like that they're covering and making their own. And I feel like 90% of people buying it just think it's a new Black Keys album. But it's like, no, those are all old blues songs. These are not written by the Black Keys. But
Right.
yeah.
Right. One would argue that's what they've been doing the whole time.
Yes. Well, they have. Like this is more like one of my favorite of their albums. Their first Chulahoma EP was basically what this album is, which is just them doing their version of bluesy shit. And then they fucking lost the plot, and they were by the show I got kicked out of that I was talking about. That was when they were a 2-piece band. It was just Dan Orbach and Patrick Carney. This was like way back. And since they hit it big with that one album, and then they got a full band behind them and made a bunch of albums I don't like. But
Did
the
you
early
learn,
stuff.
Did you learn your lesson? You gotta
For smoking
wait.
weed?
You gotta wait till 4 or 5 songs have been played and a lot of weed has been smoked.
Yeah, no, I did
In
learn
the
my
room.
lesson. It informed the rest of my life, and I've never been kicked out for weed since. So I guess that's.
I've never been
it's a
kicked
nice
out of a
story.
show. I can't believe it. The amount I drink.
Oh.
The amount that I've
I
had to
don't
drink
even
at
drink
concerts.
anymore, and I never did, to a point where you'd think I get kicked out of a show. I got kicked out of a Humphreys McGee show in Boston, at the House of Blues, which is a joke among jam band fans. It's called the House of Rules because people in all House of Blues across the country are constantly kicked out for petty things. I got kicked out because I was holding a beer and I didn't have a wristband. Even though I was of age to drink, I was like 25 or 26 at the time. And the guy was an asshole and I was an asshole back. And he said, "Get the fuck out of here." And he kicked me out of the show that I flew on a plane to get to that show. It was ridiculous. But yeah, luckily the guys in the band, the keyboardist in the band follows me on Twitter. So I was able to connect with him at set break and he let me back in the back door. So
Incredible.
It ended up being a fun night for like a lot of reasons, but it was still horseshit. And I got to flick off the security guard who kicked me out as the show was ending, as I secretly was back in there. It was so like fun night, but fuck the House of Blues. You've never been kicked out of a show. Neither of you.
No, I got warned at a hockey game a couple times for
just being drunk.
no, not even being drunk, just yelling stuff. They said it was profanity. They said somebody had complained. But we were sitting
it's
right
a
next to
hockey
the
game.
penalty. I know, exactly. And it was an AHL game. It was the Houston Aeros. And our tickets were right next to the penalty box. So I was, of course, heckling the dudes that got thrown into the penalty box.
You're in the right here. And I
Yeah.
know you know it.
No, totally. I was so baffled by it because they came down and they did the whole, hey, somebody complained, and they physically marked my ticket, and they were like, if we
Oh
have
my
to come
God.
back and talk to you again, then we're gonna kick you out. And I was like, this is absurd. Like, do you understand? If I told this story to people anywhere else in the hockey world, I would get laughed at. They'd be like, are you kidding me? That doesn't happen at a hockey game.
Right? You're allowed to punt. You should have fought that guy.
Well, I was gonna be like, well, because the excuse was somebody here with kids complained, and it was like, well, it's a school night, man. What are they doing here? Like, no,
Dude,
I don't
hockey,
care.
that is such a part of hockey culture that
Yeah.
my college, University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, had a hockey team, and I was not on the hockey team, but I was on a registered student organization, an RSO, a club, if you will, that was called the Harassing Illini, and their entire job was to do oppo research on the hockey team opponents of the week and like find weaknesses to yell at them. So like if you knew the goalie on the other team got like dumped that week, you'd like yell his girlfriend's name at him or some shit. Like this was intense
personal stuff.
harassment. Yeah. So like that's all I say all that to say hockey, that's kind of a part of the whole thing.
Well, opposite end of the spectrum, we go to a bunch of Knoxville minor league hockey games too, and my dad's buddy has tickets that are right behind the visiting team's bench, and the way that arena is set up is the first row is raised, so you're actually sitting right above the glass level for the bench. So when you're yelling at these guys, they can hear you. Like,
oh
there's
yeah,
no doubt about it. You're not having to yell through glass.
Yes.
And so I've had guys turn around and like be like, "Come on, you want to fight?" and stuff like that. And to the point where one of the co-owners of the Knoxville team actually came up to me and my dad in between periods, and he was like, "Hey man, I just wanted to thank you guys for coming out. It's fun when we have actually knowledgeable hockey fans
thanks
here,
for riling up our boys."
Yeah, man. So it was pretty funny that you have, almost get kicked out in Houston, but in Knoxville, the owner of the team is like, "Hey, thanks for coming."
Yeah, you would have been a great harassing Illini.
Yeah, man.
This thing about the harassing Illini, I can't get behind that.
It's pretty fucking crazy. I'm pretty sure that's something that could not exist today, and probably doesn't exist today. But I do have a T-shirt that says harassing Illini.
The operative word is shouldn't. It shouldn't exist today.
Yes.
Whether it does or not, it shouldn't have existed then. That's crazy.
I don't know what it started as, but it definitely morphed into what I described it as. Like that's the operative example I remember is someone saying you would learn that the goalies got broken up with and you'd yell at him about it. And I was like, okay.
Well, that's what people
fun.
always like players, like pro sports players. I've heard a couple of them say that about the Philly fans. Like that's what's brutal about the Philly fans is they
do their homework.
Yeah. And they'll start saying stuff about your family and you're like, how do they know my daughter's name?
It is fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fucked up. Like
I repent for my time in a harassing Illini.
That brings us to another of the week's topics is poor fan behavior. There's been a lot of it going on it doesn't happen at baseball games because everyone's asleep already, but at
It happened at the Yankees game a couple weeks ago.
What happened at the Yankees game?
They started throwing baseballs on the field.
Why do they all have baseballs?
Because it was probably baseball giveaway night or something.
Yeah, probably something like that.
They should have learned not to give away baseballs.
Totally.
Can't give away anything
I'm
anymore.
with that.
But they can't. But when you throw popcorn at Russell Westbrook or a water bottle at Kyrie Irving or racial epithets at Ja Morant's family,
And then there was another guy
All
who just
bets are
jumped
off.
on the court and got tackled and arrested.
Yeah. No,
Like,
yeah,
this
you
is too
should
much.
expect to get a player come up and try to punch you in the face. Dude, it's like that old hockey clip of what's his nuts for the Bruins, where he actually climbed up in the stands and started beating that guy with his own shoe.
or Ron Artest. It feels like it's strange how in the last, let's say, month, prevailing opinions, like it would have been crazy to be like Ron Artest was correct until like 2 weeks ago. Now you like nobody thinks he was correct, but nobody thinks it's insane anymore either.
Right.
Right? Like my whole life, nobody ever was like publicly pro Palestine, and now people are like, wait a second, this is fucked up.
Yes.
And
The window has shifted.
Right. So you got this thing where it's like you finally looked at it from the other side's point of view, right? So the whole time you're thinking about Ron Artest, you're thinking about how it's fucked up that he ran up there and just, right, he hits the wrong guy, blah blah blah. But as soon as something happens where you start thinking about it from the player's perspective, and you're like, oh, wait a second, it's not that out of line. Like he probably shouldn't have been suspended for a whole season.
No.
Like the fact that like I don't even remember what happened to the fans in attendance that night, if anything, if there was any punishment levied at them at all. Like, did the guy throw the beer, was he banned for life?
Well, and that's the thing is like he probably wasn't even. It was probably he bought the ticket from a season ticket holder or something. You know.
Right. Like it's very easy. Like that's why it's so hard to like actually enforce those lifetime bans. The guy that threw the water bottle, like the guy that threw the water bottle, fuck that guy. Because that's the reason why we can't have fucking lids.
Yeah.
Like, so I got to carry around a no lid water bottle at a basketball game because this fucking dipshit, guys like that. And I listen to sometimes I listen to Bill Simmons' podcast about basketball, and it's hard to say because Simmons is like not. I don't know what I'm doing, but it was.
Well, I got a couple
when I first
other
started
basketball
listening to
podcasts for
podcasts,
you.
there was when I first started listening to podcasts, there was only 3 that I even fucking knew about. Like this was like pre Mark Maron, and it was his, Jimmy Pardo's, and Benson's, Douglas Movies. Those were the only 3 podcasts I listened to for like 2 years, and I just can't shake it. But also, it's like it's fascinating how his takes keep getting worse, and how he's like turned into like a celebrity who likes celebrities. Like, so some of that is fascinating. And he argued simultaneously that behavior across the board has gotten worse, that the pandemic and because of online discourse and stuff, the general human behavior has gotten worse for everybody. But you can't judge all these fans based on the action of that one guy. Those are competing ideologies. And he does them both at the same time. This is just one guy. People say Boston fans are terrible, but this is just one guy that does it. Meanwhile, social media, people's respect for other people is at an all-time low. So which is it? Is it one guy or is it everybody is bad? Like that was his argument about like his take on that behavior was two diametrically opposed ideas.
2 opposing
I think he's
takes.
right. And you know what? He's half right. Yeah, he's half right. I think people did forget how to act in public.
I don't think that's true. I think that people, for the most part, I think that it's.
Look,
I think
that guy would have done
people,
this before. Yeah.
No, terrible people have gotten worse. That's what's happened. There aren't more terrible people. It is that the terrible people have gotten worse. They have become emboldened. They have become empowered to act out. So regular people are still regular people. The general public is still fine. But the worst we have to offer are worse than they were 10 years ago or 5 years ago or 30 years ago.
Right. Saying we forgot how to act is not the right word. It's not forgot. It's just we haven't been around people socially, so it's going to take us a minute. But you said, that's a completely different set of people.
You give into your impulses a little easier because you're not used to not doing that. When you're at home, you can throw your fucking water bottle wherever you want.
It's funny
now your impulse your impulse
Yeah.
control is lower. So when you're a dickhead and you can't control yourself, you yell things at Ja Morant's family, or you throw a popcorn on Russell Westbrook. When you're me and your impulses get out of control, you have 4 too many cores.
Right. Now, right. Or like I'll yell something about that player personally, like, but not about their family or something, but never at a sporting event has it ever entered my brain to like pick up something and chunk it at a player ever.
I mean, imagine having the time and energy to find out the name of Russell Westbrook's kids. If they're not also named Russell Westbrook, I'm not even going to come close.
Right. That's how little effort you're going to put into it. Of course.
Right? You would just yell Russ Jr. sucks too. Right? You just yell something like that. Like, and if his name happens to be Russ Jr., then boom, you nailed it. And if it isn't, he gets it. He gets the idea. I mean, his kid.
Your kid sucks if you have a kid. If you don't have a kid, never mind.
It's
Right?
not
Your
just
nephew.
it's not just the NBA, or like it's not just any one thing. It's like multiple airlines have stopped serving booze this week or month or whatever because so many people are wilding out on airplanes too, like fighting flight attendants and refusing to wear masks and fighting each other. I think so. What Geoff is saying is right. The terrible have been emboldened, and they're in the friendly skies.
Terrible people are allowed to do whatever. That is why you vote for Trump. That is his appeal. It's not his policies or what, it's not anything that he brings to the table other than absolution to behave in any way you see fit.
Right.
Whatever
like
you feel like doing.
Those people actually believe that they could walk up to a woman and grab them by the pussy and nothing should happen to them.
Right. They actually believe that they could storm the Capitol.
Yeah.
And not get in trouble. And you know what? For the most part, they're generally right.
They mostly are right. Yeah. A few are getting
right.
in
A few
trouble.
hundred have been arrested, but there was more, there was thousands of people there.
Yeah. I mean, but there's no way they could arrest all those people.
Sure there is.
I mean,
they can track them all down. They all trespassed. I mean, so you can
right, but that would take them
don't-
forever. They're not going to put the man hours into that. You're
No,
right.
I know,
could,
but they're not even going to put the man hours into finding out who gave them tours.
No.
And that's the thing. That's the thing that's like that. The problem is you got to go after the leaders, but they're not going to do that. It's like the Simmons take of everyone. Nobody knows how to behave, and this was just one dickhead. It's the same argument of it's like counterfactuals, or where counterfactual is not the right word, but it's the same idea of it's ideologically inconsistent in the same way that when the Republicans say that Antifa stormed the Capitol, but we don't want to investigate it. So
Yes,
if one of these is true, only one of these could be true. Like if you're following if it was Antifa, then wouldn't you want to investigate it? Wouldn't you love to investigate it and show that it was Antifa and prove that Antifa is real? Wouldn't that be the only thing you wanted to do? But they're not doing it because they know they're lying.
I wonder why.
No,
No.
Antifa's not an actual, it's not a thing like that.
It's not an organization. It doesn't have leaders. And the reason why it doesn't have leaders is because they killed all of them in the 60s.
Hot
so
damn, dude.
People know better.
Yeah.
People on the left and progressive, like actual, not liberals, not Democrats, but actual leftist progressives know better than to have leaders.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
all
small. We talked about this, boomers are taking a real hit right now, and it's like, dude, take it easy on the boom. First off, call actual boomers the boomers. Don't call any other generation boomers. And then also take into consideration that these poor people, first off, most of their dads were in World War II, and every leader that came up during their lifetime was killed by our government.
Well, it was killed by other boomers. So let's not give them a clear pass. Okay?
Boomer on boomer
they
violence.
also
Fair.
They also are the only generation in the history of the world to they demonstrably want preceding generations' lives to be worse. They act in a way to make the next, like everybody's always wanted the next generation to have a better life until boomers came along. Now they're mad if you want a better life. They're mad at you. You're a pussy bitch for wanting to have fucking being able to go to college or whatever. Like these motherfuckers, it costs $600 a semester for my dad to go to college. And he wouldn't sign my financial aid papers because he thought that I was trying to get a student loan for $600 a semester. It didn't even occur to his fucking tiny brain that college cost more in 1997 than it did in 1958.
Dude,
I found out 5 years ago that he thought it was $600 a semester, and that's why he didn't sign the papers.
Because he just didn't think you needed that little.
Well, why would you need a loan? Like
for $600? I see. He
was able to bartend. He just bartended at night. It's like, yeah, I could fucking, if it was $600 a semester, I could come up with $600 a semester.
Dude, I had financial aid that covered my tuition, but I still had to work to cover books and rent and just.
No, I mean, I could have gone the next year or whatever, but I didn't turn 18 in time to sign it myself. And by the next year, I was already just working. Like I just had to work to fucking continue to exist.
Yeah.
I didn't want to.
That's what happens.
Yeah,
I didn't want to stop it. I couldn't even fathom what would happen to my life if I stopped that perpetual motion of like just getting by. So
that's how they get you, dude. Stuck in
whatever. I mean, they're just
you're a slave.
So I don't I don't want to give the boomers a pass because they've done nothing to make them like. I understand it must have been rough to have a dad go to World War II, but you don't have to be the same kind of asshole.
No, but again, I think it was a small percentage. I think the majority of them were, on board with the civil rights movement and all that stuff. And then it's just
a majority
by one,
is tough. I mean, that shit all scraped by. I don't know that it's a majority, but it was maybe in that 50% plus one. But from my own, I have a feeling that this is like from your perspective and your experience growing up, the boomers in your life were probably on the better half of it. The boomers in my life were not. They were all against all of it.
Fair cop.
Martin Luther King was a communist and Malcolm X was a fucking radical, like a violent extremist. Like these are things that I've heard said by the boomer, the generation ahead of me in my family.
Oh yeah, see, I've never heard anybody say that. Like it was weird. It was a weird thing. Like I didn't realize till my 30s. It didn't dawn on me where I was finally like, oh wait a minute. Like my dad didn't go to high school with black kids. And I brought it up to him and I was like, hey, you didn't go to school with black kids, huh? And he was like, no, they lived around, but they all got bussed over to the other side of town. And I was like, well, what are that? And he's like, yeah, no, I know. I mean, we knew that was weird, but it was, at the time you're in high school or whatever. So what are you going to do? There's not much you could do about it,
Yeah, it's just your normal then.
Yeah, and I mean, I never thought about it either because, my mom grew up in Connecticut and she's Puerto Rican. So, of course, she went to school with a bunch of everything, It wasn't an issue.
Right.
So,
right.
Should we talk about movies?
So I think you are right, Geoff. Yeah, that it seems like the people in my life weren't like that,
Yeah, mine is very decidedly not that. My dad told me that like in the town that he grew up in, they had a lot of like migrant workers on the farms. And it was just an unwritten rule that they had to be out of town by sundown. And in that, it was just like, he just tells me this, like, it's like,
the sundown towns,
like whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck? Like, you don't see how that's fucked up. And he's like, well, that's just where they lived. And you're like, what?
Wow.
You're crazy. Like, how old do you have to be before you say, but then there's also like, I guess it's just like the way you react to it. Like some people are just designed to fucking take whatever and just to agree with it and believe it.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's like, I was much more inclined to think my dad was wrong and then work out why later. I just got lucky in that.
Well, lucky that
it wasn't
worked out for you.
difficult.
Yeah.
it wasn't that difficult to work out why for a lot of it. You can sort it out. Be like, oh, this is why. It's all fucking selfish.
Yeah.
Let's
do we have movie talk or do we want to?
You want a movie game? We can do it.
Let's play that movie game.
Let's play the movie game. I was going to mention I saw The Conjuring 3 that comes out on HBO Max and in theaters on Friday. I'm not going to waste time on this podcast talking about that because I have a whole podcast about horror movies called the New Flesh Podcast. And this week we'll be talking all about Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It.
Well, we will talk about it on this podcast, but not for 2 weeks. We'll give you 2 weeks to watch it because it'll be on HBO.
We got the 2-week buffer. That's right. We got the buffer.
Right,
period.
We don't want to spoil it, but we are going to talk about it a little bit because the Conjurings are the scariest ones.
Yeah, it's Conjuring.
I don't fuck with the devil.
Geoff doesn't fuck with the devil. He also, I'm assuming, doesn't fuck with the Quiet Place. Have you seen The Quiet Place?
Oh no,
A Quiet Place.
That one
Quiet Place 2 came out last week.
Came out, right?
Yeah, it set the box office on fire. The box office is finally back in a way that feels normal, like pre-pandemic normal. Quiet Place 2 made $57 million opening weekend. And if you look at the most updated numbers, let's see, it is all the way up to $65 million now. It made an extra
$100 million this weekend.
It is likely to break 100 million, I would say, in like a week or two, probably. The horror movies are generally very top heavy at the box office. They do really well opening weekend and then drop like 80% the second weekend. I think this one will do better than that because there hasn't been anything to see in theaters for so long, and this movie kind of lends itself to be seen in a theater. The first one I saw opening night in Union Square with a sold out crowd, and you'd think they'd be loud and obnoxious, but it was actually a great experience. Everyone was like dead silent the entire very quiet movie. So
I mean, I saw the first one, and I'll see this one, but I haven't seen it yet. That's why I think that it's not going to drop. Like you're using the same numbers because we're post Panda with the opening weekend numbers, but it's still there are still states that haven't, like Ohio didn't drop their countermeasures or whatever until yesterday.
Right.
So
yeah, I agree. I think it's going to hold a little better than a movie like this normally would. I do think it will cross 100 domestic, where another movie that made this much opening weekend, might top out before then. I do think it will make a lot of money. I think The Conjuring will do less good because it's not. First of all, it's on HBO.
It's on HBO.
That's kind of it. But the franchise has performed well so far, and I just am curious to see how this one does, especially with the HBO thing, because the first ones were like the first two. Obviously, the first one was so big that they spawned a franchise that now spans like 8 movies, including the Conjurings and the Annabelles and the Nun. Man. So I'm curious to see how Conjuring does this weekend. I believe the first one did 41 million opening weekend, and The Conjuring 2 opened with, let's see how much in America. It opened with 40 million. So if it does anywhere near 40, it's right on par with the other two. I don't think it'll get that high because of the HBO thing. But let's just play a movie game. This is a Blockbuster board game, Trey, where I'm just going to throw one of these at you.
Yeah, it's fun. It's like it's Last Man Standing, but with a thing instead of a name.
Yeah, so I won't do this one, but for example, movies in black and white could be one, but we won't do that one. That's just an example.
Clerks.
Young Frankenstein.
Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid.
Like that. All right, let's do this one. Movies about gangsters. Trey can start, and we'll go to Geoff.
Goodfellas.
The Godfather.
The Godfather Part 2.
Bronx Tale.
The Godfather Part 3.
Gangster Squad.
The Untouchables.
Mobsters.
Carlito's Way. Does that count?
Scarface.
Okay.
Oh yeah, isn't there a Carlito's Way too? But I think
There
it
is
has a
straight to
extra-
video. I think it has a title though,
It
subtitle.
has
Yeah.
extra words on it. So
I
I'm
think I
gonna
know what
say-
it is actually.
I'm gonna
Oh
say
my God.
because Myers Lansky is a character in it. I'm gonna say L.A. Confidential.
Ooh. Gangsters. Oh my God. Why can't I think of a mob movie? I Married the Mob.
What?
That's a
That's
movie.
the name of a movie?
Yeah. Let me double check that I said it right.
I don't think you said it right.
I Married the Mob is what I said.
I
Correct?
think it's Married to
Isn't-
the Mob.
Yeah, isn't the movie called Married to the Mob?
Oh, yeah, you're right. I didn't say it right.
Get the
Okay, so
hook.
I can be out. I can be out. Yeah, go ahead. Keep going.
Johnny Dangerously.
Donnie Brasco.
Ooh. Bugsy Malone.
Billy Bathgate.
Son of a turd.
Are we done with the name? The ones with just that are names?
JFK.
What? Oh damn! All right.
That's a
all
deep,
right.
deep, dude. Deep statement.
Miller's Crossing.
Start naming all American politics movies.
Doggone it. Oh, come on, dude. I locked up. Hang on.
It's tough.
Let me think
It's
of
hard.
a different one now.
Yeah, see, it's tough.
It
yeah,
is
well,
tough.
the Mel Gibson one.
Lethal Weapon.
No. You know, the one where he comes
Gallipoli.
back and he kills all the mobsters.
Oh yeah,
Edge
I do
of
know that one.
Darkness.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say it, but I do know that one.
Yeah, man. It's on the tip of my tongue. They did a remake of it too, didn't they? Dang it.
No, it is itself a remake.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Not gonna get it. But John Wick.
Payback.
We'll have to go to the judges on that one. Okay.
Dirty bastard.
Right, you said gangsters, and gangsters are sometimes Russian,
It's
Mhm.
true.
Yeah.
which is gonna just open. It's just gonna make this game go so much longer now that gangsters can be Russian.
Well, they are.
No, I know. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that as a reason not to. I'm just saying that that
Red
triggered
Heat.
in my mind 50 more titles. Red Heat. Oh yeah, Russian gangsters. Okay, Raw Deal. Oh man, I feel like we should let Brett back in.
I've got one at the ready. Are you ready?
Well, I mean, John Wick too.
Oh yeah, you're right. All right.
I got a real one.
John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum.
There you
The
go.
Irishman. Or what it should have been called, I Heard You Paint Houses.
Right. This takes as long as it takes to paint a house is what it should have been called.
Oh, boo. Great movie.
The Departed.
Ooh.
Damn, The Departed. Black Mass.
Oh my God.
Right? Johnny Depp plays the same character as Jack Nicholson.
Mean Streets.
Get Shorty.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Be cool.
Damn it. Gangsters, mobsters, Eastern Promises.
Damn.
Oh, Made.
Nice.
Hey, there's one.
That's a good one.
My Blue Heaven.
My Cousin Vinny.
He's just Italian. You're
lawyer.
racist.
Just-
You're out of here.
Wow.
Couldn't remember his transgressions and why he's in court. He's just a lawyer, right?
Yeah, he's the
Yeah.
lawyer.
Whoops.
And the transgressions were nothing. He stole a can of tuna on accident.
That's right. Everything that guy just said is bullshit.
I'm gonna watch that movie the next couple weeks now for
So
sure.
good.
Oh,
I think it's on Amazon.
Another one. Is it
Just a
really?
Heads up, yeah.
Mm. Oh, duh. The Mexican.
Oh yeah.
With
all
James
right.
Gandolfini, Brad Pitt, and Julia Roberts.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, and Gene Hackman.
I saw that in theaters with my parents. We enjoyed it.
Oh,
Yeah, it is a fun one.
I got thrown out. I started hitting my one hitter, like during the opening credits.
Dude, my buddy went and rented out a theater on Mother's Day with his family because, in COVID, people can do that now. You can very cheaply rent a movie theater.
Oh, it's
So
amazing.
They rented one and watched The Sting, and they were the only people at the theater. And my buddy's sister went and smoked a vape in the bathroom and set off the fire alarm, and the fire engine firefighters came and were like, "Did someone vape in the bathroom or something?" And they were like, "No, no,
What are you
nobody
doing? You
did."
rented out the theater. That's what you rent out a theater for. So you vape at your seat, you bozo.
Well, they went with their parents. I think that blew their cover, but it was so funny because no one wanted to admit to it. It just sounded like a-
your shirt.
yeah. I mean, I do that all the time in New York. You can do
wait
that.
until there's smoke on the screen, and then you take a hit, and then if somebody, the people
It's
just think
it's
in
IMAX.
4D.
Yeah, it's 3D. It's very intense.
Oh man, these
Back
D
row
box
Joe
seats
that.
are really fucking killing it.
I'm
There's actual smoke in here now.
Someone lit up a blunt on the opening night of the Biggie Smalls movie at the theater I worked at, and the cops came. Notorious.
They called the
2007.
cops because someone lit up a blunt.
Somebody did. I don't think the movie theater did because everyone I worked with was hella cool.
No, it's a
All right, whose
waste
turn
of
is it?
time.
Not mine. I'm out.
Trey, is it your turn?
I'm out.
You're out.
I think. Wait.
Oh,
let me think
you
real
won.
quick. Hang on.
I won again.
I should have hung on to Bugsy Malone there a little.
I was gonna
longer.
say, you could just say Bugsy. Isn't that the other one? What they're
Oh,
all
yeah,
kids
Bugsy.
or whatever.
Oh yeah, is that the one? I was trying to think of that one where everyone's a kid.
I
Bugsy
think it's
Malone.
Bugsy, or it's,
No, it's
one of
Bugsy
them. No,
Malone.
Bugsy Malone is that one, and then
There's
Bugsy
Scott Baio and what's his face?
Bugsy is the one with Warren Beatty, right?
That's
Mhm.
right. That's right.
Yeah. So for mine, so you could also say, because isn't that big flat face guy a gangster in Dick Tracy? So
Yeah.
Dick Tracy is one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Russian gangsters means the Equalizer counts. And 999. Have you guys ever seen
Oh,
999?
I reviewed that. I reviewed like 10 movies from Maxim online, and that was one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What'd you
Yeah,
think of it?
I think it was fine. Like it's a perfectly tolerable like TNT cable movie. You know,
It's fine. I feel like it's the movie when people talk positively about Den of Thieves. I
Yes.
feel like they're thinking of 999.
that makes sense to me. Because that oddly makes sense to me.
Right? Den of Thieves is garbage.
It's
999
it's
is
stupid heat for dummies.
yeah. But there's no like they try to add like character development to some of these cops, and it's like it's nothing. It's not like it's like The Shield. It's like if you didn't know anything about the cops from The Shield, like they're all bad. They're not like in Heat. The cops weren't bad cops. They were
Right.
bad people who were good cops.
Right.
They were just troubled people. Right. So Den of Thieves, it's 999, is way better. Also, Kate Winslet is a Russian gangster. Now I
Yeah,
just wanna
it's
talk about
super
the
weird
mayor.
casting. Yeah, it was that was the most interesting thing about that movie for sure.
Well, have we done UK gangsters? Let's go with Snatch.
Oh my god, yeah,
The
you unlocked
Limey.
the Limey's so
Carter.
good.
Get Carter.
Oh.
Yeah. Lock, Stock.
Yeah.
Wrath of Man.
Yeah, this new one, something in the theaters now.
Yeah, The Gentleman.
Rock and Roller.
Oh
Layer
yeah.
Tom Hardy playing the twins. What was the name of that
Oh,
one?
Legend. Yeah.
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 That movie I'll always remember because they had this ad with all the 4-star great reviews, and then just for fun, they snuck in a 2-star review into the ad just because it fit their pattern and it made it look like it was a part of a collage. But like it had the 2-star review right in the middle as in the poster. Super fun.
It really brought the room together.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Best movie. It was fine. It
Yeah.
fit.
Yes. All right. This is a 90-minute podcast. I think we're done here. What do you think, Geoff?
I think we're not done until we mention June 5th at the Spider House.
Dude, there may be only a couple tickets left. I went on Bearden's show yesterday too to promote it. So I think there was 20 left yesterday. So I
Nice.
mean, if you're gonna get them now. Spider House website or go to my Instagram and there's a link there.
Fuck
Go
yeah.
see Trey and a bunch of longtime Austin comics. No transplant.
Not these
or
newbies.
nothing recent, at least.
No, and all killers, dude. All killers.
Geoff, what's your plug?
June 18th and 19th at Chameleon.
June
in
18th and
Cincinnati,
19th.
yeah.
I will be
7
in
and
Red
9.
Rocks watching
what are you
Humphreys McGee. I'll be seeing Humphreys McGee at Red Rocks for 3 nights. But that's not my plug. My plug is for a stand-up comedy show I'm producing at Union Hall on Friday, June 25th, hosted by Luke Moniz and Tommy McNamara. And we have a lineup that's not released yet, but it's Alex English. And we're out to Melissa Villasenor from SNL, who said tentative yes, but hasn't confirmed. So we'll see if I have to remove this from the episode or not.
Oh, come hang.
I think there's
That's a good
enough
hang.
equivocation right there that you could leave it in, and no one can be like,
Great.
But you said you
Yeah.
never actually said.
I never said Melissa Villasenor may or may not be on the show.
And you know
but
what?
regardless, yeah.
That's true about those Chameleon shows too.
Go ahead and start promoting every show like that. And maybe Melissa Villasenor might show up.
Hey man,
Who can
Spider
say?
House.
I don't know her
Who
schedule.
knows? Yeah.
All right. Thank you for
That's it.
listening.
What an
Yeah.
episode.
Great episode of Podcast Radio, PBR.
You're listening to PBR Podcasts Radio.
Heineken, fuck that shit.